Welcome back to another episode of Fabric Garage. So in this episode, we are going to put the new wheels on the Audi S4, and we're going to paint the calipers because I don't really like the gloss black calipers because you can't really see it that great. So let me turn the camera around and I'll show you which wheels I got. They're nothing fancy, but I just hate the factory wheels that came on this car. So I wanted something a little decent until later on I'll buy something nicer. Right now, my main thing is get this thing, a little faster, looking a little nicer, and just daily it. And then over time, make it faster and make it look nicer with more expensive parts and stuff. So let me turn the camera on. I'll show you what wheels I got, what the accessories I had to get, and that way you know exactly what you get if you want to put wheels on your car, whether they're the same or different. So let's go. All right, so here we are. We have the ugliest wheel that ever came on an S4, in my opinion. If my car came with the peelers, I probably would just keep it until later on I bought nicer wheels, but I just can't stand these wheels. I don't even know what they're called. I don't think this wheel was ever given a name because no one cares for them. So that's got to go. They do have decent tires on them. They still have like 60-70% tread, and they are Michelin's, but I'll either keep these. I think I'm going to keep these and I'm going to throw snow tires on them. And then the paint on them are not that great. It looks nice in the video, but up close they're not. So I think I'm going to paint these gloss black along with the center caps, gloss black. And I'm going to put snow tires on them. That way, because I live in New England, so in the winter, I'll take out the nice wheels and I'll throw these on here. Painted black, it'll look halfway decent. And it'll have snow tires on them, so I have two sets. Unless I come across another set of 18s or 19s with snow tires already on them, then I'll just sell these as is for cheap. But anyway, we'll see what we're gonna do with them. I'm gonna keep these in the basement, and see what I'm gonna do with them. So the brakes, again, they're gloss black from factory. The paint is not that great, so looks like when I bought, someone tried to touch. So the reason why I say that the finish on the wheels not great is because someone like sprayed some silver paint on them to try and touch them up. Whoever owned the car before me, maybe Carvana did it because I bought the car from Carvana, and they oversprayed here. So I'm gonna have to clean up all that overspray and do a light sanding on it, and then I'm gonna paint it red. I am probably gonna paint this plate red, and then I'm gonna print a new decal because I have a Cricut machine that makes decals. So I'll probably print a new S4 decal in white to go against the red and make it look a little more visible and a little different than every other B8, B8.5 out there. So paint this red, and then same thing with the rear. Clean these up, sand them down, paint it red. I do have a little plate that will go in here. Let me see if I can find it. They're off a Mercedes. I just had them here. I don't know what the hell I did with it. I don't know what the hell I did with it. But anyway, it's little plates that I'm gonna try and make them fit on here. That way it'll have a flat surface for me to put like another S4 decal on here and kind of cover it up a little bit. So if I do decide to do that, I will show you guys how I did it and the end product and stuff. So yeah, that's gonna be painted red. These are the wheels. So I went to ECS Tuning. They were having a sale on this wheel, and I was like, you know what, for the price, I can't really beat it. Ideally, I would like to find a very clean set of rotors, but those rotor wheels are hard to come by in my area, and when they do come by, it's $1 million. So I decided, well, if I go on Marketplace or online, I can buy used wheels, but you never know when you buy used wheels if they're slightly bent and you can't see it until you pull it on the balancer, or if they're slightly cracked and you don't catch it. So I said, you know what, I want new wheels, and just so for the peace of mind, so I got new wheels and new tires. That way I can throw it on the car. It'll look decent later on if I want to put more expensive wheels on the car after the car has more goodies installed, then I can do that. But those stock wheels got to go. So these are M205 wheels. They're 19 by 8.5. I was looking for 9.5 wide, but I decided to just settle for 8.5 because this is not really a track car. I mean, the wider tire would be nice for more grip, but this is already a all-wheel drive car. You can put Prius tires on it and it'll still hook. So 8.5s are fine as long as you use the spacer to space it out where a 9.5 will be. It'll look good. So they're M205s, 19 by 8.5. The tires are Hankook Ventus V12 Evo 2. I got these for a good deal. So it's a cheap setup and it's all nil. So can't really beat that. So I'm gonna put that on the car. I do have spacers. So on the ECS tuning website, let me see if I can focus here. They installed. So I got new lugs, and these are 12.5 millimeter spacers from KSP. So these are gonna make the wheels flush. Now, the big thing with spacers on the B8 and B8.5s is you got to make sure the spacer is hub centric, and the hub centric spacer has to have enough room here to fit flush. So you see how that's nice and flush. Let me see if I can focus. Some spacers are not deep enough, and the spacer, when you put it on, is going to have a gap. You do not want to have a gap there. So make sure you buy a spacer that's, see right there, there's a little more room for it to go forward still. And then that'll give you another center bore here. So make sure you buy spacers that are safe to run. And then obviously aftermarket wheels, most of them are conical seat. The factory lugs are ball seat. So you can see the difference here. One has like a ball shaped, the other one's cone. Make sure you get the right lugs for your new wheels. If you are to use, let's say I got factory wheels out of an S5, then I would have to buy extended ball seat. You know what I mean? Because the most OEM wheels are ball seat. So you can't just throw any lug in there. Make sure you do it safely. So mine, aftermarket wheel, conical. These are 40 millimeter long, so they're longer thread because you're going to have the spacers, so you want to have more thread. So it's safe. You don't want to catch, a 1/4 inch of thread here because you're running a spacer and then have your wheel fall off on you when you're driving on the road. So I got new lugs. I got 4 spacers. They're all the same, 12.5 all around. And I got, so there's 2 sets in a box. I got 2. So these are going to go on the car after I paint the calipers, and then we'll go from there. Another quick thing I want to mention, believe it or not, those wheels with tires are lighter than the 18-inch wheels with tires. So these wheels here, I couldn't find it online what they weigh. And there's a lot of people asking, what do the 18-inch wheels weigh? And nobody could answer. Some people guessed. These wheels here with the Michelin tire, they weigh 53 pounds. I put it on a scale. I put it on a scale like 5 times to make sure that the number was the same. And then to make sure it was accurate, I weighed it myself, and then I weighed it myself holding the wheel, and it was accurate after that too. So these are 53 pounds, and the aftermarket wheels with the Hankook tires are 48 pounds. So I'll be saving 5 pounds on each wheel, which rotational mass should give me a little slight advantage. The lighter the wheel, obviously, the better. So I couldn't believe it that the 19s were actually lighter than the 18s, but the 18s have a slightly taller tire, and rubber is pretty heavy. So yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know, if you guys do get aftermarket wheels, you are going to get a little bump in performance. Nothing crazy that you're going to really notice it unless you go super light wheel, but it's worth noting that going with a lighter wheel, it is going to give you a little better performance. So in my case, it'll look better and it'll help me out performance wise. So I just wanted to let you guys know the weight on the wheels. So these are the little plates I was talking about. See how it says Mercedes-Benz? This came out of a caliper that we replaced at the shop. This is actually made by TRW, which is the same brand of the OEM caliper. So this is like an OEM piece for Mercedes. So I'm hoping that I can somehow attach that, make it stay there like that. And then I can put a S4 logo on here. This have these tabs here. I don't know if I want to drill 2 holes here and just press that in, or if I want to put 2 little set screws. I'm going to try and figure it out. But I want to make it so it doesn't look like a basic caliper here, so it looks like the front. We'll make it look a little nicer. So we'll see what we can come up with. I'm gonna start sanding the calipers down, cleaning them up, and then I'm gonna start painting them. All right, so I decided to just go for it. I mean, it's a project fun car. Why not fuck with it? So drill 2 holes. They are off-centered because this area of the caliper is obviously thicker than that. So this plate is actually centered. So here's the 2 pegs. There's 2 little stainless steel clips on here, and then that'll literally just clip in. And now I can put a S4 logo in here, and it's secure. So now I paint the whole thing red, put an S4 logo in here. Now the rear caliper don't look so bad. All right, so we're ready to pop these bad boys on. I'm gonna show you the caliper. So here's the rear. Came out so much better. Now there's actually an S4 logo on the rear, which is cool. Here's my 12.5mm spacer. I have a lug here just holding it in. Like I said, make sure you get a hub centric one. This one I believe is 66.6, the hub bore. So let me show you the front. Here's the front. Looks a hell of a lot better. Like I said, I had to remake the decal because I painted over it, but I do prefer the white because the white on red kind of reminds you of that Brembo. You know, it'll make it pop, especially with gunmetal wheels. The red is gonna pop. The red and the white is gonna really pop. So for a factory brake to look like this, I'm happy with it compared to the black one that I had, and mine had overspray all over it. So for a factory brake caliper, that looks awesome. And it was pretty much free. I already had the paint and I can make the decals. So why wouldn't I do that? Why wouldn't I make it look better? I do plan on upgrading the brakes to big brakes later on, but for now, this is awesome. So I got all my spacers installed. I just have a lug bolt holding it in. I'm gonna put the wheels on. I'll show you guys how the wheels look.